Hello guys and welcome to another episode of the channel. Today it's the premiere. It's the first time I do a state of the collection or collection review of one of my viewers, and the viewer is a very kind viewer. Let's call him Mr. P. He commented on several of my videos, and it's a real nice follower of the channel and a supporter of the channel. And he's someone who's really into his Seiko Blumo, but let's get to this at a later point. You can see on the picture his collection, which basically consists out of digital watches, like God tier watches, Casio watches, 3 of them, and the rest of them are automatic watches. First of all, let's go to the digital part of his collection. Unfortunately, I don't know the reference, but here you can see a more or less basic Casio G-Shock and in red. And I don't think that you can ever go wrong with having a G-Shock in your collection. It's so durable, it's so resistant, it's the perfect outdoor sports activity watch, and with the red color, I really like this piece. Next one, absolute classic, Casio G-Shock 5600, the quartz, or the standard quartz module, not the solar powered. Such an iconic piece, really reminds of the pieces of the 80s, durable, not too thick, and the case shape is just a classic. If you want one G-Shock, this is definitely one to consider. Next up, the Casio G-Shock World Time Mudman. The Mudman is a very special piece, rather bulky, not as big as the Rangeman, but it simply delivers. Of course, it's a G-Shock, so it's durable and ready for heavy use. It has solar powered, it has atomic timekeeping for accuracy, and it's just an overall great outdoor and adventure piece. Next one, absolute classic, the Seiko SKX009. It's one of the most, I hate to use this word again, but iconic divers out there. It was introduced in the late 90s by Seiko, following a watch that looked quite similarly, I think the 7002 line or whatever it was called, and it's a watch geek's favorite, like its brother, its sibling, the 007, the black version. This one has this dark blue dial and this Pepsi bezel. I mean, everything is already said about this watch. It's simply beautiful. I think Mr. P has it on an aftermarket strap by Strapcoat, Miltet, or whatever. It's an oyster style bracelet. I have it on the standard Seiko Jubilee, which I've bought after I've bought the 009, which came on a silicone strap. The Jubilee is just an awesome piece, the most comfortable bracelet I have, but also on this oyster style bracelet, it looks quite nice, and could be a one watch collection. Next up, the Seiko Turtle, the Paddy Special Edition. This is not a limited edition, but a special edition, so it's produced for a certain time frame. I think this one was introduced in 2019 or even 18, I'm not sure. And it has this very nice blue dial, and also this Pepsi bezel, and on the 5 minute increments, this red indices on the rehaut, and well, it's a very nice looking piece. If you want a SKX009, but you want a little bigger kind of watch, even though it wears very comfortably because of this short lug to lug distance, I think the Paddy Turtle is the one to go for. And I'm also tempted, even though I think I had 3 turtles and sold all of them, this could be a watch that I might add to my collection. It can be picked up rather for a rather good price right now. Yeah, the turtle is just a very nice piece if you want this cushion case look. So next up we have a Seiko 5, also in the not Pepsi but this time Coke design. It's one of the more inexpensive lines by Seiko, and they have made a makeover. You know the current versions of the Seiko 5 Sport series. This one has this diver aesthetics with this bezel, the rotatable bezel, and also the looks very or quite similar to the looks of other Seiko divers, but this one only has a water resistance up to 100 meters, so it's not like the typical diver. It's totally okay for swimming, but for skin diving, at least you have a water resistance up of 200 meters or even 300 meters when it comes also to saturation diving. But
So
I
the
think
next watch,
it's
probably
a nice
one
iteration
of, I
this
think,
Coke
Mr. P's favorite
design,
pieces,
and
the SBDC
if you
033.
want to have the
more
Seiko
than just
Sumo,
like the
also
Pepsi,
known as the
variation
Blumo,
of
the
this,
blue version of the second
color.
generation of the Seiko Sumo. I had this watch twice, sold it, and right now I'm thinking about getting it again, even though I have the Marine Master 300. This is probably the first step of Mr. P to get to the Seiko Marine Master 300. I've rode with him a couple of times, and he's really into the MM300. But I think the Seiko Blumo is one of the best pieces, and I think a hidden gem by Seiko, because everyone is talking about the SK Axis or the new 62 mass reissue editions. But this is of course, a big but very sophisticated designed diver. The locks, the polishing, the brushing, I think everything except probably for the bracelet, which could be nicer, is just awesome. It has a sign crown. It has the whole case shape, especially from the side view, has this almost like banana case shape, and this cupcake design of the bezel is just awesome and very unique. And I think everyone who likes big divers should have Seiko in his or her collection. So the next watch is another Seiko 5 Sports, a watch that I haven't seen yet. It also has this dive watch aesthetic with this large minute hand and the rotatable timing bezel, and it looks like, considering the date wheel, that it has the 7S26 movement like the SKX does have. What's rather interesting, that it also has a compass in its inner bezel that is accessed by a separate crown, probably the one on the left. I'm not sure whether it's the one on the 4 o'clock position or the one on the left, with this very nice big crown guard. And yeah, it's rather interesting to have this dive and land watch, or this compass function, included in one piece. Definitely a very, very special watch. I will probably look up after this video. So the next one is a more Dressier piece. It's the Seiko SZSB015. If I looked it up correctly, it has this black dial. They have. It looks a little bit bluish with this Cyclops, the magnifier on the date. And it has this nice semi-skeletonized hands and 100 meters of water resistance, automatic piece, Dressier look, and it has, if I'm correctly, the 6R15 movement, which is a very, very nice movement with a power reserve of around 51 hours. It's the one also in the SBD 033 Sumo. It's a predecessor of the 6R35, and actually a very really interesting piece. It's a I think Japanese domestic market only, and I think it's hard to get because I looked it up on Chrono24 and I couldn't find one for, let's say, at least a decent price. So the next one is the diver, and this one showed that there's probably still some help out for me, even though I'm a total watch geek and I'm looking at watches every day for almost hours. I don't know this brand, what this H stands for. I'm not sure, and probably I'm totally embarrassed right now because everyone thinks, well, this guy's calls himself like a watch enthusiast and he doesn't know this watch. I'm sorry. Please give me some help in the comments. It's a diver. It's 300 meters water resistant. It has thick indices, very cool. I think loomed up, it looks really awesome. It has this bezel, which looks like sapphire crystal on the bezel, probably also loomed. And this orange tip of the second hands is a nice accent. And I really like this blue. This blue reminds me of the blue by the Tudor Pelagus and also the Black Bay 58, the blue one. It's a very, very nice shade of blue. I like it, but unfortunately I don't know this piece. Next watch, an Orient Diver 200 meters, very interesting with a power reserve indicator, date at 4 o'clock, very nice shade of blue, similar to the watch we saw before, and overall Orient, just nice brand, nice offerings for decent price, nice history that is somehow connected with the let's say Seiko company, even though it's like separate because it belongs to, I think, Epson. Epson is part of the Seiko Corporation, whatever. There are some ties between those brands, but they're like independent. And yeah, simply like it what Orient delivers for the price point. And this one really looks interesting to have this power reserve on the watch. It makes it or differentiates it from the rest of the other watches in the collection, at least the Seikos. So the next one is the Orient M-Force, also with the power reserve indicator, automatic, diving bezel, orange dial. It's a sporty looking piece and quite interesting. Probably either you hate or you love the M4 series, and I don't know. I like the aesthetics, its colorfulness and sportiness, but I would choose for this part of the collection probably I would go for Casio. So we have another M-Force by Orient, also diver automatic, diving bezel, and a very nice, interesting shroud or protection for the crown. Never seen this kind of protection before, and has this nice darkish red color dial, skeletonized hands. Interestingly looking piece, and again, probably the M-Force, either you hate it or love it, and but definitely a very sporty piece. So we almost made it. Last watch we see here, the Invicta Pro Diver, a watch that I had for I think 1 week, and then I sold it or simply put it back to the seller. And yeah, it's obviously an Rolex Submariner homage, but I think for the price point it delivers decent quality. If you don't want to spend a fortune, if you want the looks of the Submariner, and if you want something reliable, I think you can't go wrong with the Invicta. This also looks good, like the Submariner on a NATO, and yeah, it's a watch that you can add as a beater to your collection, or if you're not sure whether you really like this Submariner style look, it's probably one of the best options to simply try, wear it, and experience it on your wrist. So why not give it a try? And especially at this time of year when there are discounts, you can pick them up for quite good price. So now we're back. You can see the overview of Mr. P's collection. Overall, a rather diver-based collection and a sporty collection. I like the collection, but I probably would change things. I'm not really reviewing it because it's your decision, it's your taste, and my channel is called What You Want, so it's about the watches you really want. But what I would do, probably I would think about which watches are too similar, so I don't really get a feeling of putting a real new watch on the wrist if I'm wearing them on a rotation basis. So if you look on the right corner, there are those Pepsis. Of course, a turtle is nice to have in the collection, but I wouldn't have the Paddy one if I already have the SKX 009. I would keep the 009, and I probably would sell the turtle and get a different kind of turtle. For example, if you want to have a green dial in your collection, probably the new King Turtle, the SRPE 05 with the grenade dial would be an option. The Coke style, I don't know if I would keep it. It would be, for me, it would be enough to have a watch with this 20-minute colored part of the bezel. So I probably would also get rid of the Seiko Sports and maybe get one of the newer iterations, probably a white dial one, the 105th anniversary edition of the Seiko 5 Sports. This could be an option. If I look at the G-Shocks, I mean, you can't go wrong with the G-Shocks, but I'm not sure if you have to have like 3 of them. I think the very classic one is it's quintessential, the 5600. It's so iconic. I would keep it. I would probably sell the red one and keep the Mudman. I would definitely also keep the Seiko dress piece with the 6R15 movement. It's so very versatile, and you can wear it with any kind of attire, so I would keep it. The other Seiko 5 Sports, I probably would sell it if it's not having any kind of sentimental value to you. I couldn't see myself wearing it if I have a G-Shock for this purpose, so I would probably sell this one. And when it comes to the blue watches of your collection, I would definitely keep the Blumo. I would probably sell the blue Orient because you have like a similar dial layout with the orange one. So I would sell the blue one, and I'm not sure whether I would keep the other blue piece, which I don't know the name of, I'm sorry, unless you really like it. The other Orient M4 with the red dial, it's something unique. I would probably keep it if you like the M4s. And the Invicta Pro Diver, I mean, there's actually no point of selling them. It's rather inexpensive, good looking, and you can throw it on your wrist anytime, everywhere you go. So what's next? Maybe like a big expensive piece, and here I can only highly recommend the, you know it already, the Marine Master 300. It's an awesome piece. There are, of course, points that could be better. It could be regulated, at least, if you spend this kind of money. But if you like pick it up used or pick it up for a good price, for example around 2,300 euros, it's such a nice piece because it brings you everything you want from a diver. It's toolish, it's robust, but it's also very well designed. It's dressy enough to wear it with a suit. If your cuffs are like not too slim, you can totally wear it. The bracelet is nice, even though it's pin and colors, but it's secure. The clasp could be nicer, could be less bulky, yes, but still, if you look at it, if you have it on the wrist, it has something special about it, I tell you. And it has become if not the favorite piece in my collection. So overall, Mr. P, thank you very much for sending these pictures for me for the review on my channel. It was a joy to have a look at it, and I wish you all the best on your way acquiring the Seiko Marine Master. Let me know when you buy it, and all the others out there. If you like this content and if you want me to present or review your watch collection, just send me an email to watchyouwant@web.de. So it's watch you with a U, simply want at web.de. And I will do my best to present your watch collection to the other watch enthusiasts out there. Thank you very much for watching.